Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Lori. This is Ask Dr. Lori Live. We're going to get right to it. I don't know what's coming. Nothing's been vetted. I have no idea what the first objects are. We've got guests. I'm going to look at their objects. Let's go. So my first guest is right here. Thanks for joining me. I'm Dr. Lori. What's your first name? Where are you coming in from?
My name is Bill, and I'm from Kamloops, BC, originally from Florida.
Hi, Bill. What's happening? What have you got? You got a couple things. You got a table and you got a radio and some
that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. I have an unfinished piece of artwork that's quite unusual.
So if you're not here to talk to me about that, then why isn't that front and center?
Well, you caught me by chance there on the first caller, so I appreciate that. And
Sure.
And anyhow, this piece of artwork, we have done some research on it. I know you like us to do our research, and
do I? I like you to do your research.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
I'm informed. The artist's name is Emmett Fritz. We picked it up at an estate sale. A real nice waterfront mansion in Sarasota, Florida, when we were there. And she was an artist herself. And
Can I see the back? Can I see the back?
Emmett Fritz.
Why isn't it on a frame, and why are your hands all over it?
Sorry, yeah, I really shouldn't be touching it.
I don't like that at all. It's also acid burned. The whole front of it is acid burned. So that means that it was, see that brown haze on the whole piece? So that means that particular piece had a piece of an acidic element near it at some point in its life, maybe not when you got it. So you stripped away the frame or you bought it without the frame? No,
I found it actually my wife found it like this in this artist studio. And I don't know if you can see it, but it appears to be unfinished. There's a etching that isn't completed in the watercolor. It might be hard to see.
Okay, that's not an etching. Okay, it's not a watercolor. This is all the problem. It's correct identification, guys. That's where you go, I don't really need an appraisal. I'm not really sure. It's a correct identification. So you know who the artist is, right?
Yes, Emmett Fritz. Okay,
great. And you did some background on Emmett Fritz, and you know a little bit about the kind of work that artist typically does, which is this, right?
Yes, he's famous for St. Augustine, Florida.
And characteristic of his style. And that's very important for value. This particular piece is a gouache, which is watercolor with oil paint mixed together on a panel. And this panel, of course, is masonite, which helps us to date the piece to the middle years of the 20th century. Value on it about $150. Get a frame, get a frame, get a frame. Based on actual sales records where similar pieces have sold, it does not need to be cleaned, but it is acid burned. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks for your advice.
My pleasure.
Bye.
So a couple things, manhandling the objects. Bill knows better. I know he knows better because you can see that Bill collects stuff. So you want to make sure that you're not manhandling the stuff, because anytime your hands touch these objects, the oils on your hands get transferred to the objects. They attract dirt and deteriorate the object. But it's good that he did his research. He's going to know what's what, and he wants a value. Now, the value for this artist's work is usually a little bit higher, but I have to give a lower value because I have to take into consideration condition. So I have to assess the whole market. Remember, next guest, let's see. What have we got? And I don't know what's coming. Hello. So remember that. Hi, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I actually made it. Hi, I'm doing great. Oh my gosh,
it's Dr. Lori. Oh my gosh.
Well, I know.
Who are you expecting? You were expecting me, weren't you?
I hope so. So I have here, this is one piece of a 5-piece set of what I believe to be silver-plated, potentially W.M. Rogers. It's a coffee pot. It comes with a creamer,
a sugar bowl
covered sugar with a lid. What I believe to be the original tray, which was similar, but it doesn't have any marking.
No. So it doesn't have any markings, but you think it's part of a larger set. How did you acquire it? And show me the mark, please.
It actually.
What's your first name, honey? What's your first name, honey? I didn't hear you.
Chrissy.
Hi, Chrissy. Okay. So you don't have a mark, or you do have a mark?
I don't see any marking on it. The closest thing to a mark would be these symbols right here, imprinted on each of the legs. I do have the full set. It's just sitting in the background because it's kind of heavy.
Do you have a waste bowl?
I do not believe so.
Okay, then you don't have the full set. So the full set would be creamer with a lid, sugar bowl with a lid, coffee pot, teapot, and then also the waste bowl, 5 pieces. The trays are usually not connected. People go, well, what about the tray? What about the tray? The tray's not usually part of the set. So Silver plated. Did you pay? So you bought all 5 pieces together?
I do not have the teapot or the waste bowl.
Okay.
Those are the only two
you have
things
you have a
missing.
3-piece tea set. You have a 3-piece set, and value on the 3 pieces, William Rogers, silver plated, middle years of the 20th century, value on the 3 pieces, about $125 for all 3 pieces. Thank you, Chrissy.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Chrissy had some pieces that a lot of you look for, and I want you to look for silver plate, and I want you to learn those marks, and I talk about them in some of my other videos, and I also talk about them here at Ask Dr. Lori Live, and this is where, of course, I help you to identify these pieces. You got to get the correct identification. So those of you who are going on and on and on, I don't really need an appraisal, I'm not really sure, well, I kind of think I know what it is, but I have to be confirmed, but I don't care about the value, but I just want to know this. Stop all this nonsense. You need a correct identification, and I want to tell you what the pieces are worth as well. Here's my next guest. Hi.
Hi, Dr. Lori. Evelyn, how are you?
How are you? Nice to see you.
Thank you.
You're right up in front. You're right up in front. Okay.
All right.
So, what have we got?
All right. I got this paint, and I don't know.
I'm gonna back it up. Gotta back it up. Back up. There we go. Better. Keep going back. There you go. Because I got to see the whole thing, sweetheart.
Okay.
All right. How'd you acquire that painting, that snow scene?
I got it from a thrift store.
All right.
It's not oil. It looks like a watercolor painting.
It's not oil?
No, it looks like watercolor to me.
Can I see the back?
It's on canvas, Dr. Lori.
It's on canvas, Dr. Lori. It's on a piece of canvas board. It's on a piece of canvas board.
Yes.
Okay. So
that's canvas board.
Okay. That's oil. That's oil paint.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that is oil paint. You got to be able to recognize this stuff, right? So when you're looking at oil paint, I want you to look for the texture, and I want you to look for oil paint looks different than acrylic paint. Acrylic paint looks like shiny, like your clear nail polish. And oil paint doesn't look like that. So what to look for is very important. And that's what I teach you here on the channel. That's why you're all saying, I'm getting my free crash course. It's Dr. Lori University and all the rest of this. I want you to get that. You're going to learn all of that, and you're going to learn tips here too. Okay, back to you. That particular piece, is it 16 by 20 inches?
I think so. And on the back it has Ugler on the back of it.
EUGLER on the back of it?
Yeah, EUGLERT.
Yeah. So basically what you have is a Midwestern painting. That piece is based on a work by an artist who's trained at the Art Institute of Chicago Museum School. Value on that piece, about $75 to $95. I'd probably put $95 on it because of the frame. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you, Dr. Lori.
My pleasure, honey. So a couple of things. All of you are finding these pieces. I know you are at, of course, thrift stores, yard sales, antique shops, and of course, estate sales. Don't forget about my real bargains. I'm premiering another video tomorrow night with real bargains. And of course, I want you to be able to learn about those. And these bargains are important. They're the kinds of things that regular people just like you notice the Murano. There's some very wonderful pieces of Murano, not just the everyday pieces of vase here and there, but some fantastic pieces of Murano and other pieces, Limoges and Royal Bond and other pieces that you're going to see. And I'm going to, of course, premiere another one. Somebody actually paid $20 for a piece that was worth $6,500. If you think it's too expensive to buy it in an estate sale or a thrift store or online at Shop Goodwill and other places like Everything But the House, let me tell you, these people are overlooking very valuable pieces. So remember, I'm going to show you what the real values are on Real Bargains. Stay tuned to the channel. Here's my next guest.
Hi, Dr. Lori.
Hi.
My name is Linda, and I'm in Texas.
Hi, Linda. How's Texas?
About 80 degrees.
Oh, gosh, Linda, shush. 80 degrees. Do you see I'm wearing 3 shirts here in the studio? I'm freezing.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, 2 weeks ago, and now it's 80. It's 2 weeks ago I had that, and I'm still freezing. But the studios are big, and they're cold. Anyway,
Yes.
How can I help you? What's happening?
Well,
Thank you for the super chats. Yes.
so this is a water. He has an opening, and he has writing. Let's see if we can show you the writing. I took it to the San Antonio Museum of Fine Art, and the curator there gave me information on it. He said that it was a 1700 copy of a 1300 piece or artist.
So he thinks the piece is from the 1700s.
Yes.
Okay. If it's old, is it valuable?
Not always.
Not always, exactly. Okay, so how did you acquire this piece from the 1700s, he thinks?
Well, my mom, my mom had a friend in San Antonio whose husband was in China during our pre-World War II.
Okay,
And
so is it taken out of China?
It was taken out of, I want to say either Hong Kong or Singapore.
Did the curator talk to you about repatriation?
No.
Okay. Curator should have talked to you about something called repatriation, which is when certain objects have to be returned to the originating culture.
It was presented to the family.
Okay. Now, of course,
her husband was a colonel.
Of course, I'm not saying that this particular piece has to be, but that has to be a conversation that people have to have as it goes through. So you want to know how much it's worth? Do you want to sell it or do you want to just keep it?
Well, financing is tight. I would be interested in selling it.
Okay, you should never sell it to the appraiser. And of course, I don't buy or sell anything, but basically have an understanding of what these particular pieces are valued at. And because they're rather rare, you don't see too many of them, value can actually be low. And people go, what do you mean value can be low if it's rare? Yes, if they don't come to the market often enough, you don't establish a great market for them. Your piece is worth anywhere between $800 and $1,250. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So it's always a good idea to look into investigating these pieces. But remember, you have to think about today's market for these pieces and don't expect to only find the correct market information in one place. A lot of you are like, oh, well, I saw something selling only in one place. You know, you'll say, I saw it selling on eBay. Well, guess what? You know, you don't buy the same things at the same grocery store. So you have to think about the way in which this particular thing actually would be marketed and actually would be evaluated. You're being very, very unwise if you're only looking at one place to get your value for your object. So I want you to stop making that mistake. A lot of you are making that mistake. Oh, I saw that and you can't, and it's not worth this or it's not worth that. That's not really how you evaluate these pieces. So again, you have to look at all the different places where a similar piece would sell. Here's another guest.
Oh, hi, Dr.
How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Sure. What's your first name and where are you calling from?
I'm Laura, and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, Laura. Okay.
Hi.
Let's see. What's all the neon behind you? You have a lot of neon back there.
Yeah, that's my room. That's how I decorate. So
is that like the she cave?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Neon is cool. What have we got here? Got a doll?
It's a doll. Well, it's a Maraude. I believe it's a toy, and it plays music.
It's a little weird, don't you think?
It's a lot weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You got the head, and then it spins, and
it plays music. It's got it's like glass porcelain. It says
there's a mark on the back of the neck.
Yes, it says 5, and then let's see if you can see.
Can't see it.
It says 5, and then a line and 0, and then it says Germany underneath it.
Okay, so the head dates anytime between about 1895 and 1905, 1906 in there, and the rest of it underneath underneath this area that would be the collar area is just they basically married it together to make the music.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not crazy about that at all. Inside.
Yeah, not crazy about that at all because that particular and here it's not only opinion, it's based on value. But what they've done is they've taken the nice head of a doll that could be valued as much as $250 or $300, and now they united it to something else that's inexpensive. So it would have been better to sell the doll for parts. Value on that piece about $60.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
No, but nice to see you from St. Louis.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right.
So a couple of things like that, because those are marriages. You know, when two dissimilar things come together, stick it out no matter what, it's a marriage, you know. So that's a marriage, those pieces that are put together. It's an interesting toy. It's something that you typically see in the 1930s or 1940s, and you usually see it in those time periods when they're put together in those time periods when there's either a recession or depression or economic turmoil. You're going to see a lot of those coming out of course, the time period like the 30s into the 40s, pre-World War II. Interesting. This is Ask Dr. Lori Live. Thanks for being with me. Thanks, of course, for your super stickers and your super chats for supporting the channel. I appreciate that very much. You believe you have an early Walter Lample necklace? Good. Info on this jewelry maker is limited. It's signed WL. Is that correct? Is that Walter Lample? Well, there are a few WLs actually in terms of jewelry manufacturers. So don't assume that, it's only the first one that you found. When there's limited information, I always say, where are you looking? And you have to remember that your source has to be good too. So it depends on what kind of pieces you have. Are there a lot of set faux stones in it? Is there a lot of gold tone in it? So you have to sort of learn about what the style is in different time periods for costume jewelry makers. And don't forget, costume jewelry makers will change their style in different time periods. So what Lample would have done during the 1930s might have been different from what they were doing during the 1960s. So you've got to see that, how the trends actually change and what materials they're using. So send me a picture and I'll take a look. Thank you very much for the super chat as well. Book a call with Dr. Lori. Yeah, you can book a call. You can actually have me all to yourself. You don't have to, of course, you can do this if you like, but you don't have to do this. You actually could do video calls with Dr. Lori. I do them all the time. And I do them, of course, to help you to identify objects. If you want to do that, you would sign up at drloriv.com and you can get information about that. A lot of people do it. They do the video calls and they go through the house. They go through an established collection. Today I did a video call appointment with a couple who had all of his mother's vases, all kinds of, beautiful pieces, Roseville and all different kinds of vases that I was looking at, Limoges, and there was Sevres, and there were some gorgeous pieces. Thank you for the super sticker. And that was a video call. Video calls give you the direct connection. So you can actually talk to me and ask me those questions that you want answered. So I've got a lot of folks who are, of course, waiting in line here. Thank you very much, KNS, for the super sticker. And thank you for supporting the channel. It's important that you do that. It's important that you share the channel so other people can learn too in our crash course. Hi, how are you? I'm Dr. Lori.
Hi, Dr.
Hello,
Lori.
how are you? I'm Dr. Lori. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you? I'm doing
I'm
good.
fine. What's your first name and
This
where
is
are
Susan.
you? Hi, Susan.
from
What have you got
North
to
Little
show
Rock,
me?
Arkansas. Thank you for having me.
North Little Rock,
Okay,
Arkansas. I've
here we
been
go.
to Little Rock, but not North Little Rock. So things are good there. How are you doing? What have you got?
Over the river.
Yep.
Doing
Yep.
good. I have a lamp that a friend of mine gave me. Said
Okay.
that not to give it away or anything, that it was worth money, but I have no idea about it. So I was
So then
going
the
to ask
question
you,
is,
since you are
how
the
much?
expert.
How much money? Are we talking like, money so we go on the other side of Little Rock? Are we talking Oprah money? What kind of money are we talking?
Just
That's
wanted to
really
know
the
what
question,
it is.
right,
You're the
Susan?
expert.
Well, I know. Can I see the whole thing? Can you stand it up the way it would work as a lamp as opposed to sideways? Can you go this way, babe?
Sorry. There's
That's all right.
okay.
So
wait,
when you
look.
look at it, you
Okay,
know that lamp
there's
has
the
to
top.
date to the late 1950s, early 1960s, right? You're looking at the color, you're looking at the little, that element. And of course, the plug will tell you a lot. I've taught you that many times, that the plug will actually teach
Yes,
you a lot
ma'am.
about how you can identify it. Now, do you have this pair or just one?
Yes, ma'am.
The pair or just
I have
one?
one, and the only thing I see on the bottom is just one, and it doesn't have really anything on the bottom. Only thing I've ever
Okay.
seen was a bottom portion somebody was selling.
Okay, let's take a look
I
at what
have
you've
no
got here.
knowledge.
So you've seen a little bit of information. When you look at that, when you look at this piece and you see these elements that curve, those are called ionic columns, and they date back, of course, to the Roman period. That form is a classical revival form, and you'll
Yes,
notice how
ma'am.
the whole thing starts to get fatter as it goes down. It starts to go like this. It actually tapers up or it flares down, and then it's sitting on a base, very architectural, and people like that. You also have the original shade. The original shade can increase value on a lamp by as much as 20%. So don't get rid of the original shades. It might be ugly. You might not like it. Personally, ugly is your first point of value. Value on that lamp, about $150. That's a nice one. And a lot of people, thank you very much, Susan. A lot of people look for lamps And a lot of people are interested in, of course, trying to find the pair. A lot of people do that. They're searching for the pair and searching for the pair. Don't forget that people will also break pieces down. What does that mean? Well, they've got just the shade, or they've got just the socket, or they've got, just the middle portion, and they start to marry them together to other things. There's lots of repurposers out there. There's nothing wrong with that, but a lot of people will have pieces and parts, and looking at those, sometimes you can be creative and put something together, but lo and behold, if you have something that's already together, you want to keep it there. I'm very happy to help Linda this evening. I'm happy to help anytime, of course, and there's more help available at drloriv.com if you want to sign up to my newsletter. And thank you for the super sticker, and thank you for supporting the channel. My newsletter, in fact, has a lot of tips, and it also has, of course, discounts and other extras on the newsletter. I'd like you to subscribe to it. And where do you subscribe? drloriv.com. That's the website. And when you get to the website, you're going to see it. You can see, of course, if you're on a mobile phone, you go to menu, and you can find, of course, the website. Maybe your favorite page on the website is the specials and shop page, where you can do the shopping for things like my loop and my other recommended products. And you can get it right there at the specials and shop page at drloriv.com, my website. And if you want to subscribe to the newsletter while you're there, you, of course, want to look for the free thumbs up. That's right in that same, of course, menu right at the top. It's underneath the logo right near, all the way over at the upper right. And you can, in fact, go to free and then click on that and put in your information so we can send you my newsletter with tips and extras on it as well. And that's at drloriv.com. There's a lot of information. There's also a lot of research information that you will find there that is accurate from the source. You can find that information there on the website as well. So you're not going around saying, I'm not really sure. Oil painting, primitive winter scene, signed Louis H. Cannot find any information on the artist, any ideas. I have lots of ideas. I'm going through about 50 just in my mind of artists who are painting snow scenes, winter landscapes with the name Louis H. So you're going, any ideas? Got to see a picture, a couple of things. Remember that some of the artist colonies, just talking about America and Europe, not even getting into other parts of the world, there are certain time periods when snow scenes are more popular than other scenes or other seasons when it comes to painting. Depends on size, execution, composition, of course, materials and such. If you want to send a picture to drloriv.com, I'll take a look. But there are many artists who, of course, would have that name, right? That I can think of for snow scenes. And when you say primitive can mean a lot of things, particularly to art historians, PhDs like me. When I hear primitive, that doesn't mean, the person can't draw. Primitive means that they actually decided to make it look a certain way. So I'm happy to help. Thank you again for the super stickers. The super stickers and the super chats, of course, tell me that this channel is helping all of you. And I've heard it a lot. I heard it a lot today, just to speak about today, but I hear it all the time that you folks are following my tips and you're learning from them and you're able to, in fact, do well for yourselves financially. My next guest, hi.
Hi, Dr. Lori. My name's Ashley.
How are you? Hi,
I'm
Ashley.
Good. How are you? I just got off
I'm
work.
fine. Where are you calling from, hon?
Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. What's happening?
Yeah. So I have a vase. Okay.
You have a vase.
And
Okay. I'm going to ask you to get it into the camera so I can see it. And can you hold your camera horizontally, please? Or if it's your phone, horizontally. There you go. All right.
Like that.
And a little bit closer to your body. There you go. All right. You have this vase. How'd you acquire it?
It was sitting on a dumpster with some other art glass and a pair of shoes.
Okay. Okay. So did you decide to take all the art glass and the pair of shoes? Okay. And is there a mark on it?
eBay.
So
Yes,
you sell on
there is
eBay
on
and
the bottom.
you're near the dumpster and you said, "Oh, I'm gonna basically take this and try to resell it."
Yes. This is
Okay.
at my apartment complex.
Okay. All right. So somebody's cleaning
there-
out and they decided to just get rid of it.
Right.
So is there a
So
mark
there's
there?
now- Yes, it looks, I don't know if it says Vanini. I think it's Murano. It's very heavy.
Okay.
Um,
Can you go farther back toward your body? Can your whole body move back with the vase moving back away from your camera? Back away from your camera. There you go. Go back some more. Now,
Okay.
hold it upright. So I'm not looking at the mark.
Okay.
Okay. And this is what I want you all to learn. You're all concerned about marks. I want you to learn how to recognize quality. If the mark were not there, would you recognize this as being a good piece? It's a very good piece. It dates to about the 1970s. It's Italian glass. It's valued anywhere between $200 and $210 from the trash.
Nice.
You think it's not
Thank you.
out there? It is out there. So hang around the dumpster a little bit. You know, who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
you'll meet some friends. I don't know. Nice to meet you, Ashley.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That's very nice. It's the quality of it. I like the way in which the elements are put together. I like the way the piece is basically showing the contrast of the dark against the very bright, vibrant colors. It's very indicative of the late 1960s and early 1970s. And it's a nice piece. And she was smart to take it. It's amazing that it comes out of the trash, not damaged, not chipped, not cracked, but still in pretty good condition. So that's great. Good for her. Thank you very much. You're happy to have found me. Thank you very much. Yes, 30 years of collecting, that the priority service will work very well for 30 days of collecting or 30 years of collecting. But lots of people enjoy using the priority Ask Dr. Lori service and other services that I provide because you're going to get the truth. You're going to get the real assessment, not just somebody who's looking up some sales record in one place. You're going to get the real assessment of what these pieces are. And I'm going to teach you how to actually either resell the piece or make sure you preserve the piece for your own good, for your own collections. People are doing this and saying, oh, I can't find this. Well, there's a super sticker from way back when. Thank you very much. It's nice to see you. I recall being in a swimming pool. I'll say that and leave it at that. Nice to see you. I hope you are well. Do we have another guest? Just Dr. Lori ordered the Dr. Lori t-shirt and mug. Well, here's the mug and here's the t-shirt over here. Thank you very much for that. I hope it's helpful to you. I highly recommend Video Call and Unlimited Appraisal. She helped me with about 100 pieces. She has no fear. I have no fear. I have no fear because I've been very fortunate to learn all of this and to share this information with you. I, of course, know in many, many ways a lot about the field that I really love. So I've been lucky to be able to share the information with you. I think that it's something that I should do. And I think people who have this expertise should share it. What you've found is there are not a lot of people with the expertise who want to share it. I want to teach you guys how to succeed. I want you to get it. I want you to learn it. But that's a wonderful thing. Thank you very much, Lori, for supporting the channel. A couple of things, and I want you to learn it. And once you learn it, you're going to be empowered to do more, and you're going to do better, and you're going to be able to categorize these objects of what's valuable and what's not. Just the way I'm able to, of course, know my guests. Hi, how are you? I'm Dr. Lori.
Hi, good evening. This is Joanne. I'm in the Austin, Texas area.
Hi, Joanne. Nice to see you. How can I help?
I just discovered you literally like an hour ago.
An hour ago? Where have you been? What have you been doing? I've been doing this since 1998 and been in the field since 1989. What do you mean?
I just started supplementing my income. So,
well, okay, you're supplementing your income, and that's why you found me, because that's why most people found me, because they're supplementing the income. I hope I can be of help, but I'm glad you finally found me.
Yes, and I hope you can help me too, because I've been doing research on this. It is I'm sorry about the glare.
Okay.
So basically, it is hand signed. It's a print.
And it says best wishes.
Yeah, it's to Marietta, best wishes, and then it's like Belmere or Belmer.
Okay, can I see it again?
Yeah.
You've got all kinds of, glare. You've got, there's 4,000 things going. I don't know what's coming, and you're giving me more obstacles to go over.
Sweetheart.
So, Joanne, this particular piece is a color lithograph.
Yes.
And did you see that face I just made? Because again, it's mass produced in large numbers. You want to have the original piece if you can. It also has a copyright mark over there at lower right, indicating, of course, the artist. How did you acquire it?
Goodwill.
Goodwill. Did you pay more than $5 for it?
Oh, no.
Okay. It's signed. It's worth about $25.
Okay.
I would say
that's where I was having a problem, because it was.
You're thing is that you want the quality pieces, and that piece has been mass produced many, many times. The artist is making money on basically signing them. They probably go along with someone who purchased one of his paintings. That's a pretty typical thing that would be seen in the 1980s by galleries who are selling large-scale paintings, mainly to tourists. Thanks very much, Joanne.
All right, thank you.
A couple of things. So when she was doing her research, and here's some research tips for you and what to look for. When she's doing her research, she's focusing so much on the actual signature, which then she can't find out anyway, that she's not focusing on the actual image. And the actual image will tell you a lot. So try to identify where that landscape is, right? And when you do that, you can narrow down the parts of the world where this artist is famous, or where they come from, or where they're typically painting these landscapes. So these are some of the research tips that a lot of people forget. They're so focused on the writing, on the signature, and I can't make out the letters. And I do give you tips on how to do that too, on how to actually do the letters, right? But basically, looking at this particular piece is one that you're going to see. And I forgot to thank Chris for his super sticker. I was thinking about swimming. Anyway, so a couple of other things, if you recall, thank you very much for the super chat and the super sticker. I appreciate that. But this show is all about trying to teach you what you can actually learn, and also so you can shop for the cool stuff. Don't forget to get the tools that you need when you are looking for these pieces in the thrift stores, in the yard sales, at the antique mall. You're going to be able to identify what's valuable. Maureen loves the priority service. You're helping me so much. I'm learning and selling. Yes, of course you are. I make visitors watch you on TV when they come to my house and they're getting hooked. I love you. Well, I love you too, and I'm glad you like the priority service. It will help people to identify what's valuable, and it's a wonderful show to have on in the house, right? Today I bought a Fenton top hat piece with white swirls for $10. Great, good for you. Has a beige and silver sticker. Did I score? Well, Elsie, I'll tell you what, I think you did pretty darn well for of course, $10. That's great. And Fenton pieces are collectible. People like to collect those. Remember, the stickers do matter. They'll help you to identify the identification stickers of the different corporations, the different firms, manufacturers will help you to identify the date when these pieces are done, the same way the marks will. So if you see pieces with a residue, that could give you a hint. And also remember, if you have a sticker on a piece, try not to get rid of it. Try not to pull it off. I always am upset when I see, writing on the bottom of a piece, or magic marker from, sometimes the Goodwill or the Salvation Army or the Care and Share shops, or some of the shops, not all of them, that put, of course, a price with a magic marker on the bottom. That really can damage the pieces. But if you have a sticker and it's there, leave it there. It's a good idea, because sometimes that might be the original sticker from the original manufacturer. So that's great. Thanks so much for the super chat and the super sticker. Thanks for sharing the channel. We need you to share. And thank you so much, of course, for being part of this channel. Don't forget that many of the extras are right on the community tab here on YouTube. So in the community tab on YouTube, you, of course, can see the extras. Sometimes it's discounts. Sometimes it's, of course, more information about certain things, but all different things are going to be on the community tab. So anytime you come to the channel to watch videos, using the Binge Link, or just to watch videos, go to the community tab. It is easy to find. Make sure you subscribe and use the community tab. A lot of you are going, I can't find the community tab. Got to subscribe, use the community tab. Lots of extras are there. My next guest. So again, I
made it. First of all,
very excited.
Go Illini. That's just for you.
Okay.
88 grad.
So the Illinois, the Fighting Illini are here.
That's right.
And I am a Michigan Wolverine through and through.
Well, we feel sorry for you.
Blue.
We feel sorry for you.
I have enough blue. Then I have a PhD from Penn State.
Oh.
But okay.
Okay.
Anyway, Urbana-Champaign is beautiful.
That's right. That's right. That was fun.
Thank you for that. How can I help you, hon?
Okay. I have so many paintings, but this is the one that my husband said I really need to get appraised.
We're listening to our husbands now? When did we start doing that?
Well, I have to live with them.
All right.
And I the couch won't, yeah.
Another reason why I'm single.
No, actually, I would try to get on last week with this.
Okay, come on.
I would try a different one.
Through many people. Where's your painting?
Okay. This is the painting behind me. I'm trying to get it straight. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Your head's
Out of the
kind of
way.
in the way. Yeah. All right.
Ah, doggone it.
Kind of dirty. Was somebody a smoker in the family?
No. I got this from a historical home in Belvedere, Illinois.
And somebody was a smoker in that family.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's really old. It's a Henry
Gotta let
Wiggers
me see the
frame.
painting, sweetheart. Your head is in front of the painting. You
Okay,
gotta let
hang
me
on.
see the painting.
There.
So, you know.
Okay.
All right.
Henry Wiggers frame.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And I've got the markings and stuff on that. It
Okay.
needs to be cleaned. I'm trying to figure out. I got a hold of one of the hot shots in Chicago for an appraisal. Not for
Well,
an
then you
appraisal.
should go to them for, then you should go to them for an appraisal. You should go to them for an appraisal because they're hot shots.
Well, no, I meant for restoration, not for an appraisal. I said the wrong thing. No, to restore it.
Okay,
It's
before you
coming out.
restore it, wait a second. Before you restore it, it needs to be appraised and it needs to be insured because in the event that something happens to it while it's in restoration, you will lose the value of the painting.
Ouch. I did not know that.
Ouch is right. And these are the kinds of things you need to know. So before
Right.
it leaves you and leaves that house at all, first of all, you got a $300 frame. It's a very important frame. You've got a painting, which in fact is nice, but that particular painting is in pretty poor condition. So in that
Right.
condition, I'd probably say the piece is worth about $450 in that condition. It's going to cost you at least that to have it conserved.
Right. They said about 1,000. Now the frame itself, the picture itself is 54 inches long. Okay.
In that condition, it's worth about $450. It's going to
Oh, that
cost you
stinks.
at least that. And I would shop around because $1,000 sounds like a lot to me for restoration for that piece. But again, I don't know. Does it have any tears?
No tears or anything.
Yeah, that's high. $1,000 is high.
So a
What
Henry
is big?
Wiggers frame is really not worth much then?
$300 for the frame.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
disappointing.
I'm sorry. That's the truth.
That's okay. I only paid $150 total.
Well, then you can't complain, can you?
Right. No, not too bad. And I like the picture, so
It's a nice picture.
thank
you very much. Nice to be with you. There are a couple of
take
things.
care of
you have to-
yourself.
Yeah, thank you, sweetheart. You too. A lot of things you have to think about with respect to that. And she made a good point because she did look into it. She did look into the restoration. But before you have it restored, you really have to think about what happens to it once it's out of your hands. So are you covering the insurance or is the restorer and the restorer studio covering the insurance? And, you know, it's a lot that they have to do. That's a big space. So I can see where they're saying, okay, it's going to be expensive. Plus, they don't always know how far they're getting in. But if there are no tears to it, that's one of the most difficult things when you have to put a Biva patch or a wax patch actually on a particular piece and then repaint. In paint is what they call it. And it's a very, very difficult process. They don't have an easy job of it. It's not like quick and dirty when they're doing something like restoration. The thing about that is, of course, that particular piece was in a place where there was a lot of heavy smoking. You could see it right there. Hello, Elizabeth. You purchased a Mark Moses, beautifully framed and gorgeous at an antique store. You paid $150. Thoughts? Well, here's a couple of things. It's a Mark Moses. That's great. How big is it? I need to know how big it is before I can say, yes, you did great. No, you did terribly, right? I need to also know what particular subject matter it would be for that art, for that particular artist. So a couple more things that are specific to that particular piece, and then I can give you my opinion. You know I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm happy to give you my opinion. So thank you very much for the super chat as well. Another guest. Here we go.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Someone
Nice
just
to see
said
you.
that they discovered you a day ago. I discovered you maybe 30 minutes ago.
Oh, well, there you go.
Fantastic. So I've got this Windsor chair. Well, I've got a set of 4 of them.
Okay.
Race back over here, and I was about to paint them until somebody told me they might actually be worth something.
Can you show me the bottom? Your Windsor chair is a reproduction. It dates to about the 1930s to the 1940s. And one of them, that one is worth about $70. So would you paint it now?
No.
Okay. Well, so you could. Some people would say, I don't care for $70. I don't want to paint it. So they're all in the same condition. How much did you pay for them?
At this point, I got them for free. I paid $20 for the 4 chairs and a dining table, and I sold the dining table for profit already because it was too big. So
there you go.
Would it not? It wouldn't be worth $70 if I painted them, eh?
Well, once you paint them, depending on how good a job you do, sometimes people repurpose and they do great, creative things. And all of a sudden, a piece like that becomes worth even more. And sometimes if you paint it and if you just said, oh, I'm just going to slap white paint on it or black paint on it, you could devalue it a little bit. So it just depends on how creative you are. But I would say right now that chair in that condition, about $70. It dates, as I said, to the early 20th century.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Nice to meet you. So there you go. 30 minutes and she gets a free appraisal. Not bad. Some of you have been watching me for years. Sunny Day. Thank you for the super sticker too. It's nice for all of you to be supporting the channel, and you're all helping each other when you do this. And I know I'm helping you with all of our guests to do these appraisals. I don't know what's coming. Nothing is vetted. I have no idea what the next object will be.
Oh.
Hello, bonfires. How are you, Dr. Lori?
Me? Yes. Hi. How are you? I'm good.
Hi. How are you? What's your first name?
I've got this. Oh, Victoria.
Hi, Victoria.
Hi. So I've got this necklace. Let me see if I can get one of the discs up to it. Can you see that?
I can see a disc.
I know. I know it's silver. It's been tested. There's no marking on it.
It looks
it's
like
very old.
How did you acquire the piece? Because the piece looks like it was made in the Middle East, possibly Israel.
I acquired it from a thrift store for $2.
Okay.
The little discs have either Japanese, Chinese, or Korean markings on them.
Okay. That particular piece, the disc could be Asian, but the rest of it is Middle Eastern. And the discs look like they're after the fact. So I would say, how long is it? Is it like, does it fit like here, 24 inches? Is it 20 inches?
It is probably what, 12?
Put it
Very
on your
small.
neck. Put it on your neck.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like more like 18, 20 inches. So value on that piece, I would say, is going to be just about $75. Thanks very much. Okay. Remember when you're looking at these pieces, she tested this. She said, I tested it for, of course, silver. So it has to be which particular fineness of silver. So is it 800 parts per thousand silver? Is it sterling silver, 925 parts per thousand? Is it a different type? So look into that. But it's good that she tested it for fineness. And those other stones she could have tested also, the quartz and other stones, in fact. Thank you very much for the super sticker. It supports the channel. A couple of other things that I want to remind you about with this is, of course, when you're out at the thrift store and you need a place to put all of these treasures that you are finding, don't forget that you can, of course, bring Dr. Lori along and get one of the totes. The totes are really cool. As Dr. Lori says, I'm priceless tote bag that you all asked for. You all said, Dr. Lori, we have mugs. We love the t-shirts, but we really need a tote. So there's the tote bag. And there was one of the fans who actually wanted to show her tote bag and a couple of Fenton pieces that she found and that she put in it while she was out thrifting. So all of you thrifters, I'm so glad you're doing so well. A lot of you are doing well in certain categories like fine art. You're learning more about fine art and costume jewelry. And here's another guest. Let's see what they have. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori. What's your name?
Hi, Dr. Lori. It is Beth.
Hi, Beth.
I'm in Chicago.
Hi, Beth.
And
Chicago. What's happening?
I have a painting, very old painting. A friend of mine found it in a dumpster and gave it to me.
Okay. Well, that's a nice friend.
Yes, she knew I was doing this, so she got it for me.
So it's yours. Can I see the back?
The back is pretty crazy. Is that good?
Yeah, it's okay. So it's been restretched. It had nails in it at one point. They took the nails out. They put it on a different stretcher, and then they reattached it.
Okay.
The piece looks like it's early 20th century. Is there a name on it at all?
The last name seems to say Thys. And I can't, yeah, I can't figure out there's like a initial.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
It could be an F, it could be an L, I don't know.
Okay, so THYS, there are a couple of artists who are working in New York with what's called the Ashcan School, and that's particularly the style that you have at that painting. Those are the artists of the Great American Realist movement of the early 1900s until 1900 to about 1925 or so. People like Robert Henry, people like, of course, Ernest Lawson, and many, many others, John Sloan. But that particular work looks like a work that comes out of the Midwest, as opposed to New York, but in that same realistic style that was basically very popular in the early 1900s. Value on your piece is going to be anywhere between $650 and $750. Beautiful, beautiful. It's in gorgeous
Do you know what country this woman, this girl with this basket? I can't figure out this peasant dress.
The painting is American. The peasant is the girl herself is probably of German descent.
Okay.
Based on her costume, what she's wearing,
German?
and particularly the way she's wearing the costume, the basket, the whole thing. And value on the piece, as I said, retail value based on actual sales records, $750. That includes the frame. The frame's worth about $200. So nice
Did you
piece.
see how the frame is really kind of not in good shape?
The frame is worth about $200.
Really?
So,
okay.
yeah.
Well,
you can see the gilt. It's a nice frame.
It is
not in good shape based on you. Well, I've seen a lot of frames. It's not a bad frame. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
A couple of things that I like people to have an understanding of. First of all, whether or not the piece is actually executed properly and the composition. If you looked at the back of that painting, and I want you to learn about art because art has great margins. You can buy a piece of art very, very low and you can resell it into the thousands. Those of you who are saying, I don't understand art, I don't get art, you got to learn art. And I'm going to teach it to you. There are certain things that are always more valuable than others in the marketplace. And yes, some of it's glass, some of it's ceramic, some of it's china, but of course, artwork, that's painting, sculpture, architectural elements, furniture, as well as precious metals, including jewelry, silver tea sets, and of course, jewelry, precious stones are going to be valuable and they're going to hold their value. Once you learn what's going to hold their value, you're going to do well and succeed in reselling these pieces. And this is why folks are saying, I just found you. It's because word of mouth is growing. You're sharing the channel, and I need you to continue to share the channel so people can learn from this, because every time there's a new guest, it helps me to help you. So the more of you who are here to, of course, do these live shows with me, to be a guest, to have their objects, you're all going to learn about more pieces. So please share the channel, share it on your social media pages, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. When you subscribe, you will get alerts of new videos. So you're not searching. You'll get the alerts, and that's what's important. Please subscribe and please share, because every time I get an opportunity to talk about something different, it teaches you more. Right? Thank you for sharing your knowledge via an online medium and the information on the Howard Barron's print. Yes, very happy to do that, Joanne. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So Barron's, of course, very well-known painter of course, scenes like these tourist scenes, just like what she had there, which was actually signed. We saw that again. And as I said, you want to make sure that you're looking at these pieces and you're looking at, of course, subject matter. So every time I see a different object, which is what I do because I can appraise all different things, it's important. Oh, I surprised you. How are you doing?
Hi, Lori. I'm so good. I'm so excited right now.
You're so excited. I'm excited too. What's your name?
My name is Ian. I'm from Cambridge, Ontario. I have my friend Erica watching as well.
Ian and Erica, or Eric?
Yeah, Erica.
Erica and Ian are watching. Okay. In Ontario, Canada.
Yes.
A.
So, A, exactly.
A. I'm good.
So,
all right.
Keeping on topic with the thrifting.
Keeping on topic.
I've recently...
I never keep on topic. Why would we keep on topic?
Well, I mean, I have... Anyways.
Anyway.
So, I have this ring that I bought from a antique store. It's a halo ring. It's a ruby.
Okay. Did you?
It was a ruby anyways.
Okay. It's faceted cut. There's a table, a flat part called the table. And then there's facets. It's cut. It's not a cabochon where it's curved, right?
No, I have a cabochon here.
Okay. Good job. Okay. Good. All right. So you were told it was a ruby, or you tested it as a ruby?
It just said on the tag ruby. It was
okay. You didn't have a gem tester. You don't have the Presidium gem tester that I recommend.
I don't, but I did get the loop.
Okay, the loop is good. I like the loop. The loop's a money magnet. The loop is good. If you have a chance and you decide to get more gemstones, I want you to think about investing in, of course, that, and that's on the shopping page. It's the specials and shop page. It's right at the top of the website, blah, blah, blah. We'll get back to that. But okay, back to you. So the tag says it's a ruby. Let's see it.
It is marked as 10 karat.
It's marked on the inside as 10 karat gold. Okay.
Yes. And
then it's got some diamonds. It got some flair. I can see a little, okay. And it's got diamonds around it.
Yeah.
Do you know that that particular ring is indicative of a ring that was worn by a woman named Sarah Ferguson in the 1980s? Of course, it was her engagement ring to Prince Andrew, and she's known as Fergie in the world, of course.
Oh, I'm a big royal buff. So is Erica. So we're both going to scream about this.
In Canada, I think you would be. And her engagement ring was very similar to the engagement ring for, of course, Princess Diana Spencer, which was the great big, look at me, I've got the big, sapphire ring that now, of course, the Duchess of Cambridge wears, of course, Princess Kate Middleton.
Yeah.
Princess Catherine, let's get all of their royal titles correct here. But that particular ring was very popular in the 1980s, and it was reproduced all over the world based on her engagement ring.
It also has another mark, TJE.
Okay, so that mark is going to be the maker's mark.
Okay.
Okay, but the design really comes from the royal family. Value on the piece depends on the size of the rubies. Rubies usually don't naturally develop very, very large. They're not known to be, like rocks, the way, of course, we talk about big diamonds, like J-Lo's big diamond, or those kinds of things. So your particular piece, how much did you pay for it?
$175.
You're probably in the $2,500 to $2,800 range for it.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. I never kid. Why would I kid? It's not my jewelry.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
Well, I also bought this. This was $100.
Okay, you also bought that. Did you buy it in a group?
No.
How much did you pay for the ruby?
The ruby, this one was $175.
$175. Okay. So do you typically buy and resell jewelry?
No, this is just for my fun. Just I love
just so
jewelry.
you can wear it, so you can enjoy it.
It started with this, and then now I have.
Good. It's a very good idea. It's a good investment, especially for folks who are young and even for folks who are old, to in fact utilize the jewelry as your collecting category. And I say that because it's easy to store. It can be easy to protect, right? You have to think about appraisals, and you also have to think about making sure you have security on it. I hope you wear it in good health. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Well,
My
thank
pleasure.
you.
Very nice. That's a beautiful piece. Now, if it were 14 karat gold, you'd have it a little bit higher, but it's all about the size of the ruby, the quality of the stones, as well as the diamonds. The diamonds were of good quality, but again, you would have to use the Presidium gem tester that I recommend on the specials and shopping page. And you just go down and you'll see, of course, all the tools like the loop, for example, on the specials and shop page, right at drloriv.com. The loop is featured there, but if you go to the little thing that says go shopping now, you can click on that and you can find the gemstone tester. I know a lot of you are using it because I know a lot of you are telling me on the comments here on YouTube and other places when you get in touch with me through the website and you go, Dr. Lori, I'm using the gem tester, and it's like a total world of difference. And I want you to see that difference because once you start to learn it, you'll be able to develop your eye for it. Sorry if I accidentally said hot shot appraisers. I meant restoration company. Don't worry about it, Jean. Don't be silly. I watch your videos all the time. My hubby does too. That's wonderful, Jean. It's fine. No problem. But, remember, there's one hot shot appraiser, sweetheart. Anyway, but a couple of things. Another guest, even better. Let's see what we've got. Looking at all different types of stuff today. Hello. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Cathay Lawson. I'm calling from, I'm in Covington, Louisiana, right near New Orleans.
Okay, great.
And I also just discovered you less than an hour ago, or else I would be much more presentable.
Well, that's okay. I'll take you the way you are. Will you please move your camera so it's horizontal? And the reason why I say that is because then we can show a whole.
That's so much better. That makes so much more sense.
It's amazing. Well, I'm getting the cues, of course, from our from the producers who are telling me horizontal, Dr. Lori, so we can all see it.
I'm
What
from
have
the
you got
Palm
on-
generation.
Okay,
Okay.
you found me miraculously, and I was live tonight. And you're saying I've got to binge watch Dr. Lori, and I'll give you the binge watch link in a minute. So you've got the blue dog.
The I've got a stone dog. Yes, I've got my Shishi stone dog that my parents brought back. There was a pair they brought back from Vietnam. They were there for a year. My father being, he was working over there. But anyway, this one came back somewhere in around 1971. It was a pair. And so it survived 40 some odd years until I made a chip in it. So since then, this one has been, and it has a lovely glaze to it. If I can get it.
To the other one? What happened to the other one?
God only knows.
Oh, okay. So did you always have did your parents bring back both?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so you just only got one. Okay. The reason why I ask is the reason why I ask is because this is like, oh, I lost the other diamond earring. Too bad. This is a big deal.
I have a different question. And I know you do appraisals, but this is an interesting question. Okay. So if this is from 1971 and I look at the glaze, but then I went on search for his brother, and here's his bigger brother.
Okay. And what's your question?
Well, this is really the pair that I wanted. I'm sorry. I'm so confused. But yes, I should have been.
You are confused. I gotta say, you are confused.
I'm sorry. I am nervous, but yes.
That's
okay.
Well, don't be nervous. I'm here to help you. Don't be nervous.
Okay. I'll just start with this one. I have too much going on in my mind. But yes, if I had the pair,
if you had the pair, you
tell
can't
me more about it, I guess.
Okay, you can't appraise it because if you had the pair. First of all, the big one is a piece of junk. The big one is, your typical knockoff. Lots of people have it to sell to the Western market. The big one is probably worth $100. This one is a little bit better. It dates to the early years of the 20th century based on a form that goes all the way back into the ancient world. Unfortunately, this one is also not of very, very high quality. The glaze is nice, but there are skips and there are issues. Don't worry so much about the chip. Worry about the fact that you have now divorced or broken up the pair because they're meant to be together. If they were together, they'd be about $400. Now that it isn't together, the one in front of me is worth about $200.
How can you tell?
How can I tell?
How can you tell a good one from a...
I'm looking at the glaze. I'm looking at the ceramic. I'm looking at the way in which certain elements are actually decorated. I'm looking at many features of the piece, and I'm using my 3 degrees in the history of art, 25 years as an appraiser, and my specialty, of course, working in major museums around the world. So that's how I can tell. How can you tell? How can you tell? You've got to binge watch my videos, and then you'll learn how to tell too. Nice to meet you.
I'm doing tonight.
Things, because folks are going, how do you know? How do you know? Well, I've seen a lot of these objects, and I want to share with you what to look for. Unfortunately, she got herself kind of turned around with this object and that object. Focus on one object. Let's talk about that object, then you'll be able to apply it to others. But what I wanted her to understand is when she goes back and she's calm and she's not on TV and doing this whole thing or on, the YouTube and all this stuff, when she goes back and looks at them and she compares and contrasts the big one to the small one, she's going to see how much more detail, how much greater detail, how much greater glaze there is. And hopefully she'll go back and watch this, after the live feed, but how good the glaze is, how good the color is, how good the attention to detail is on the smaller one versus the others. Thank you very much. I hope all of the videos are great. It's rare for vintage, antique, unmarked jewelry to have genuine stones and or to be precious metals. Well, if it's unmarked, don't automatically assume that you don't have a precious stone or a precious metal. The other thing that you might be familiar with is that over time, some of the old pieces will lose their marks. They can be, of course, they can abrade away. They can have a true precious gemstone in them, and then the mark goes away. So don't assume that. You're trying to make assumptions, and you could be losing things. I appraised a gorgeous, gorgeous stone that was in an unmarked piece of metal. So don't assume that. Now, yes, marks are great. It's great to have marks, but that's not the holy grail all the time. So if you have a question, just ask it. But that was a good one. Thank you, Liz. Hello, Beth. Oh, well, my blazer is because I'm freezing. So not just saying that because my painting is worth so much. Oh, you're so funny. Thank you very much. I like red. I think red is pretty good. And red's a nice contrast for our evenings here together. Anyway, having said that, a couple of things I want you to remember when you're looking at these pieces. If you have a question and you're not sure, I love that you're doing your research. It's good that you're doing that, but use the Binge Link. the Binge link to the videos here on YouTube are going to help you because I cover a lot of ground. You know, I've done hundreds and hundreds of videos for you on all different topics. So, you know, I cover a lot of ground. So I want you to be able to use the Binge link. It's easy to find. It's right in the description of the channel. So use the Binge link so you can get the Dr. Lori videos and you can learn about all different things, because when you're at that flea market, that yard sale, that antique shop, or maybe grandma's attic or basement, or even in your own house in the curio cabinet, you have different things. You don't only collect one thing, you collect all different things, and you have opportunities to buy, source, and resell different things. So that's why I have so many videos for you. Barbara, where have you been? I've not seen you on YouTube for a month of Sundays. Well, I don't know where you've been, Barbara. I've been here. I've been here 3-4 times a week, actually. And if you haven't seen me in a month of Sundays, go use the Binge link, because you're missing a lot. You've missed real bargains. You've missed amazing treasures. You've missed, of course, the Dr. Lori treasure hunt game. You've missed Pick the Most Valuable. You've missed Ask Dr. Lori. You've missed Ask Dr. Lori Live. Oh my gosh, you missed a lot. You better get back here, Barbara. I don't know what you were doing. Whatever you were doing wasn't important. So get back and watch those videos. It's good to be with all of you. And another guest. Thanks for being my guest too. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Dr. Lori. It's Erica
Hi.
from South Carolina again. How are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. My husband and I are still on the search for Murano, and
Okay.
so we found this kind of scary looking clown at
A lot of people don't like clowns. Do you like clowns? I'm not big on clowns.
Not really. But he loved it.
But clowns can be valuable. There are people out there who go, Dr. Lori, what do you mean? I love clowns. So that's okay. Clowns are good. So what do you think about this clown?
Well, it does have a sticker on the top. I'm not
What
sure.
does it say, this sticker?
I'm not sure.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I'm glad I taught you so much. What does it say, hon?
Oh, goodness. If I can read this. La Serenissima Murano, made in Italy.
Okay, so you believe that this particular piece is made from the great famous glass furnaces of one of the 117 islands around Venice, Italy, including Murano and Burano, right?
Possibly, yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, that's what the sticker basically is telling you.
Okay.
And people who haven't been to that part of Italy are oftentimes surprised to hear that Venice actually is comprised of 117 little tiny islands, one of which is Murano, where the glass furnace is. So that particular piece is hand blown Murano, and that particular piece, your 89-year-old dad loves Murano clowns. Okay, well, what just happened here might be the way you guys can come together, because you have a clown that I think you might want to sell, and it seems like Mary has a dad who might want to buy a clown. So you know.
Right.
Anyway, that's a Murano clown, and it looks like it's about 9 inches tall. How tall is it?
Oh, that's probably about right. About 9-10 inches.
Probably he probably has a retail value. Oh, time period dates to about the 1970s. And he has a lot of detail. So the detail and the different colors indicate that you have a lot of work that is put into it. It's not just one full color and a big red smile, and that's the end of it. You know, he's got different color hair. He's got a blue hat. He's got, you know, the big bow tie. It's a nice piece. I would say value on it about $125.
Great.
But clowns are more popular in different times of the year. People are like, what? Yeah, clowns are actually more popular in spring and summer rather than in the winter months.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
like clowns.
My pleasure. And people are surprised by these kinds of things, but certain things sell better in certain times. And when I talk about selling on my blog or on my newsletter, for example, or of course in some of the videos here, I want you to understand that certain time periods are the best time to sell. Learning when to sell. You know, you're all good at sourcing. You're all good at the shopping. Some of you are a little better than others, teaching you how to negotiate, teaching you these kinds of tips. But a lot of you, I want you to think of those kinds of things. So when it comes to when to sell, I want you to think about, when do we have these types of subjects in our front of our mind? You know, when do you go to the circus? Well, the circus usually comes to town, sort of like the World's Fairs, from about April to about October. So it's that spring, summer time period that you usually will see an interest in things like clowns. So it's when it's in the front of our minds. Here's another guest. I was doing a video call today and I was talking about baseball cards. And I said, well, the best time to sell baseball cards is, of course, in baseball season. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori. How are you doing?
Hi, Dr. Lori. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Where are you? And what's your first name?
I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and my name is Miriam.
Hi, Miriam. What have you got? We were speaking about clowns and other entertainers. What have you got?
So I don't know if it's a clown, but I've been collecting really cheap art from the thrift stores. I've got a big old pile here. I'm putting up a gallery wall, but this one in particular, I'm really kind of intrigued by. So let me
Gallery walls, for those of you who don't know what they are, you probably do. It's called salon style. And it's when you actually would put a painting and its frame right next to one another. It doesn't matter if they're the same size or different sizes on one wall. It's called salon style. It's based on the way in which the French salon, which is where artists would put up their paintings for, of course, the art critics to decide if they get an honor or not. They put it on all one wall and they go, okay, this one, this one, this one, this one. And that's what she has there in the back. What you also have is something called the Commedia dell'arte. So if you look at those three figures in the back, they are based on a very, very famous theater troupe that date back to the 1700s and the court of Louis the 15th. Louis the 15th actually invited the Italian Commedia dell'arte, a four-person theater troupe, to come and to entertain the French court of the monarchs in that time period. You have a 1920s era example. Those costumes date from the 1920s. How did you acquire this at the thrift store?
Antique store, actually. Paid about $50 for it.
And that piece dates. The canvas itself dates to about the 1950s. The costumes that they're in date to about the 1920s. Is it 16 by 20 inches? How big is it?
No, it's much bigger. It's 36 wide, maybe 24 tall.
It's 36, so it's like this if you spread your arms?
Yeah, so
a yardstick, 36.
Yeah, about like that.
It looks smaller than that, but I'll give it to you.
I'm not great with the feet, but
No, you're not great with that. It's looking like
pretty large.
It's looking like 28 to 30, a little bit smaller than 36, but still big. You're right. Value on that piece, I would put about $150 on that piece, which dates to the middle years of the 20th century. That's a very nice one. I like the salon style wall too. Thanks, Miriam.
Yeah, have a good one. Thanks.
Sure. I know you think I'm being abrupt. Some of you, she's going so fast. I'm trying to get through as many as I can for you. I want to get through as many people and as many guests as I can to show you all these different pieces. The Commedia dell'arte is very, very popular and famous. One of the more famous figures of the Commedia dell'arte was made famous, of course, by Pablo Picasso, and that was the Harlequin playing the guitar. You saw it in Miriam's example too. So a lot of them that I want you to sew, because some of these figures will recur. They'll come back over and over again. And once you learn them from the history of art, all of a sudden you'll say, oh, wait a minute, I can start to date that. Wait a minute, I understand this. And I want you to start to develop that memory, that visual memory, because once you develop it, you're going to really, really have an opportunity to be able to pick things. Thank you very much for the super sticker. I appreciate that too. And you're helping everybody to allow me to do more of these videos and to get you more tools that will help you identify pieces. The super chats and super stickers pay for things like the Dr. Lori cam, which you all love, that I use regularly. So we have our guests. As I said, the guests, we don't know what's coming. I don't know what image is coming next. You can see people are surprised when they're chosen, and we don't have any way of knowing what object they're holding, what object we're waiting for. Kimberly, thank you. Everyone share Dr. Lori. She's amazing. I tell anyone who will listen about her, love you, Dr. Lori. I love you too. Tell everyone, even the people who won't listen. The people who won't listen are the people we need to get to. But thank you for sharing. I appreciate you doing that and supporting it, and also telling people to share. You need to share so I can do more, because the more I do for you. Anyway, having said that, there's a lot that you can learn right here on the channel, and the Binge Link will help, as well as of course, making sure that you are with me as often as you can be. I hope you are learning a lot, and I want you to be able to learn a lot. We've seen a lot of great objects tonight, and I hope to see you next time. I'm Dr. Lori. Take care.